The Coaching Hour with Tumelo Tolakai
on Zoe Live Radio.
www.zoeliveradio.co.za.
Good evening. Welcome to the Coaching Hour. I'm your host, Khensani Chauke, and tonight it's a date night with me. Remember, every Tuesday night we do transformation. We are equipped and we learn a lot from our guest coaches that come into the show, and we are going to proceed with a topic that we started last week. Remember, we spoke about purpose. What is purpose? And how to identifying it, like the overall of understanding what the purpose is, and then defining it and understanding it and identify that purpose in your life. Because everyone wants to succeed in life. And when you want to succeed, you want to understand what is it that will make you successful in life. Some we succeed because we have gifts that we use. Some we succeed because of we live a purpose. Some we succeed because we work hard. So tonight we want to find out from Coach Dingani. He is back on studio tonight, and we will hear from him how these three work hand in hand. Because one, you have four or five questions that you need to ask yourself. Number one, who am I? Number two, where am I from? Remember, who am I? It's a what? It's an identity. You need to understand your identity. The secondly, where am I from? The source. Who is your source in life? Why am I here? Why am I here? The purpose, which we were talking about last week. We want to understand, why am I here? Why was I born in this earth? And the other question is, what can I do? What can I do with the purpose that I have, the gifts that I have, which is potential? And then the other one, where am I going? Destiny. The only way to know where you're going, you need to understand what your purpose is. You need to understand your identity in life. Once you understand and you are able to answer those five questions, then I guarantee you success in your life. Coach, welcome to the show. Good evening to you.
Good evening, Coach. It's good to be back. I enjoyed the show last time, and I'm hoping that the value that was added in the last show, people will still get even more value from this show that we're going to be hosting tonight. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Definitely.
And, hi to the listeners and the viewers. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach, for coming through tonight. Guys, before we start the show, share the feed. If you like the show, like, share, and subscribe, and invite your friends and your family to come and listen with you. Send the feed to them. They can watch it online. And if you have questions and you have comments, make sure that you use the comment section to do that. So, Coach, tonight we are continuing with the purpose, and some of our listeners and viewers were not here last week. Kindly introduce yourself. Who is Coach Dingani?
Okay, Coach Dingani is actually a mindset and purpose coach, and that is what I do. And I've been practicing coaching, working with people. I work with people, individuals, and also with corporates. And also, I'm an author. Dingani is an author. I have a book that was launched last year in October. The name of the book is Reset Your Mindset for Success. So that is who I am. I'm in the revolution of changing mindset and making people realize why they are here, their purpose, and to be successful. I think that is what I do.
Wow. Yes, thank you, Coach. So we are continuing with a topic that we started last week. So remember, we were talking more at the end of the show last week. We were identifying. We were talking about how do I identify the purpose that I have in my life, and you were explaining to us that a purpose, it's something that is permanent, but plans can change along the way. But when it comes to purpose, it's something that is permanent. And another thing is purpose fulfills us. Purpose, it's something that we do it with our hearts without looking into how much profit do I make. And a job, it's something that you are paid for. You work to get finances, you work to make profit, you work to get a salary or to be paid. But when it comes to purpose, it's a total different story. And that's where we were last week. And I would like us to continue now that I've identified my purpose. Then what do we do with the purpose that I have? And while I know and understand my purpose, on the other side, I have gifts. Will the gifts that I have fulfill the purpose that I have? What do I do? Do I use my purpose to work on my gifts? Do I use my gift to my purpose? Gifts versus purpose. How does it work?
All right. No, that's a good question, Coach. Actually, it works this way. You have your purpose. That is the reason for being. That is your big why. That is the reason why you are. That is your biggest assignment on earth, actually. And to be able to fulfill this purpose, you need to have gifts. And I even mentioned last week that I'm talking about gifts more than gifts, because we have more than one gift. So once you have your purpose, then there are certain many gifts that will be there to make you fulfill the type of purpose that you have. And in terms of, I think that the other thing can be, okay, now I know the reason why I'm here, but I actually don't even know what type of gift is there that I can be able to live up to or to fulfill this purpose that I have. Mm-hmm. So there are just a few things that you can find out, because all of us, by the way, I want to repeat what I said last time, that we are all gifted. Because sometimes, Coach, when you mention gift, people firstly they think of the gift that people are singing. They say people are playing soccer. They're like, oh, that we're talking about that. It's only about those people that we say in the entertainment industry that those are gifts. No, gifts everything. Some people are gifted in writing. Some people are gifted in drawing. There are so many gifts that people have. So, but to be able to identify that gift, the biggest thing that you need to do is to check, because I can tell you, all of us, there are certain things that we do very effortlessly. There are certain things that you do for you is very, very effortlessly, but for other people that are watching you, they're like, wow, you made it look very, very easy. So those type of events or incidents will always be there in your life. Try to check and see which of the things that when you do them, people seem to be very excited or very encouraged when you do them, but for you, it's like, it comes very naturally. So that is one of the signs that, you know what, this is the gift that I have. And the other way that you can check is actually to make sure that anything, because if you check, you read on the news or you follow social media, there must be a certain trend that you are living with. You must be following certain type of things. There must be certain things that are of interest to you. You cannot follow everything on social media. There are certain things that you realize that, no, man, I'm interested in mostly about fashion. I see people, when people are dressed well, like that's what I like to see most often. So that gives an indication that, no, maybe fashion is something that I can be interested in, or it's something that I'm gifted in. And so one of the ones that is, for me, this is the one that is very, very critical. It's very interesting, this one, because when somebody does something and you realize, you know what, I feel they could do it differently. No, man, I feel like the way they're doing it, it's not the way it's supposed to be done. That is a pure indication that, you know what, this is actually my gift. It's like something that you need to do differently. So those are the few ways that you can use to be able to see what type of gift you have. But I can tell you, be assured, we all have gifts. You just have to identify that gift to be able to live up to the purpose that you have.
Yes, Coach, I hear you. And the other thing is, like, as we speaking about gifts, right? And then someone might say, okay, my gift is to speak. I have a speaking gift. You know, there are a lot of people who are gifted when it comes to speaking. So how, after identify the speaking as a gift, and I want to fulfill my purpose through that gift of speaking, where do I start and how do I do it?
All right. This is Very critical. I think, I'm hoping that wherever you are, viewers and listeners, you have a piece of paper to be able to write a few notes of what I'm going to be saying. Because for me, this is very, very, very important that I'm going to mention. Okay, yes, you identify that, you know what, I'm a speaker, I'm gifted in speaking. The only way that you are going to make sure that you nurture and you let this gift grow, because knowing your gift is not enough. I think that this is something that is very, very important to realize, that just knowing that you are gifted in something is not enough. Actually, knowing that you are gifted in something is the beginning of hard work, because now you are going to have to do certain things that are going to be restrictive of the type of life that maybe you used to live. Because now it means, now that I know I'm a speaker, the question is, who are the other speakers that I know of? There must be certain speakers that you know, and it is about time that you really associate. You may not physically associate with these people. But you can actually try to follow everything that these people are doing, because it's part of your speaking engagement. You check everything that they're doing, whether it's social media or whether it's newspapers. You follow these people because it is your line of gifting. It's what we call association. You have to associate with like-minded people that are in your gifting space. So that helps to be able to groom your gift, and you start to see certain things or learn certain things that you might not have known about your speaking. Because one thing that you must realize, one thing that you must really realize about this is that actually to speak, let's say you are a speaker, you are not going to be a perfect or an exceptional speaker at the beginning. You just have to make sure that you refine the speaking. Whatever that you are gifted, if you're speaking, you have to refine it to a point that people can feel. Yeah, you can actually monetize your speaking, because you are speaking in a way that it draws people close to you. So that is one of the things that you can do in terms of association. And the other most important thing is practice. Whenever there's a chance to speak, just speak. Just be a speaker in every little event that is there. It's okay to start small while you have a big dream, but just start speaking, and then you can keep on increasing or refining the gift that you have. So those are things that can actually greatly help you in terms of getting your gift up to scratch and actually monetizing it, so that people can actually pay you for speaking.
Okay, so when we look into the challenges that we go through in life, would you say some of the challenges are channeling us into identifying our purpose?
Actually, you see, I think that mentioned something that is very interesting. Actually, I'm going to talk about what is called success. To say, when is a person successful? Because sometimes I remember one day I was in the gym and I had a friend of mine who was saying, "Hey man, tell me, when do you say a person is successful?" And he was like, "Is it when you have a certain type of car? Is it when you have a certain type of house? Where do you say, at what point do you say this person is a success?" And I said to him, you know what, let's take an example of, I always talk about products that people buy. And I said, if you have a car, and this car is meant to be ferrying people, it's a car that must transport people, maybe it's a minibus taxi, and the car or the minibus taxi does what it was meant to do. Like, it's doing exactly what it was meant to do. That takes, for me, it's a success story. It is a successful project. It is doing what it was meant to do. So every time that you do what you were intended to do, that we call success. Even people that are running projects, I can tell you, when they say the project is successful, it's not when it beats another project or some other people's project. It is when the project lives up to what they intended it for, the purpose for which the project was started. When it's reached, they say, yes, it was a success because we got what we put in. So the same thing happens with us. To be able to see success is to be able to live up to why we are here. If you do what your purpose is, we are intended for, in terms of knowing your why, that is where success happens.
Okay, I hear you. And now I want to speak about, you have written a book, right, Coach? And the other thing is, what motivated you to write the book?
Okay, yes. I wrote a book last year. Actually, the book was conceived during the hard lockdown because I had this perception about life that, whenever external things seems to be not favorable, work from the inside and get the best out of any situation that you are facing through. So during the hard lockdown, I was saying to myself, what is it that someone can come up with that can work, that can be a very, very positive, that one can take out from this hard lockdown that does not look like it's a good thing. And at the time I was like, I'm so much passionate. I have so much passion in terms of getting people to discover their potential, to discover who they are, so that they can be able to live the type of life that they've always wanted to live and to attain success. And I was like, I know I'm doing coaching with people, but not everybody can be able to come to my sessions for coaching. Mm-hmm. But the best way is to share this information. How can I share it even more? And I thought, maybe the best way will be to come up with a book that any other person can read. And at any time, any person even if the person is in high school, they can be able to read this book. So I thought, let me come up with a book, but not come up with a book for the sake of writing a book, because I noticed that, because I read a lot myself, I noticed that most of the time when I read books, they are talking about you must know what you want. You must know what you want. And I'm like, but if I'm just a new reader and a person tells me I must know what I want, what is this want, knowing what I want? And I thought, I think everything has to start at the beginning, to say, how do I know what I want? That's when I said, I'm going to start at a point where one discovers who they are, why they are here, then try to discover their gifts. And if you check the book itself, it's a self-help book, coach. It is something that you read. You read chapter 1, you have to take notes after chapter 1. Chapter 2, you have to take notes, because it's a self-help. It makes you become a better person. So the reason why I wrote it was to improve and to make sure that I help to increase the consciousness of people, so that they can receive and manifest all the greatness that is within them. That was the biggest reason, actually. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And with everything that you have accomplished, would you say that you live in your purpose?
Entirely, yes, coach. Because if I can tell you what my purpose is, actually to be able to create generational wealth by making sure that I let people unleash their own power. So that is actually my purpose in life, because I have a written purpose, statement that I have, that I know that for me is to make sure that people realize that the amount of wealth that they have. And for me, it's just to help them to unleash this wealth that is within them. Once it's unleashed, I can tell you, people start to realize that, I don't actually need the type of things that I thought I need. I am more than enough. All I need is within me now. That's when we start to realize that, when they say all things are possible, everything is indeed possible, because everything's within me. So that is what I do, and that is what I know, that what I'm doing in terms of creating this new generational wealth. I have books that I'm writing, I have people that I talk to, and I write on magazines and actually newspapers on a weekly basis, just to try and see how best one can try and improve and increase the consciousness, so that people can realize how powerful they are. It's very, very sad, coach, to see a lion that is actually behaving like a lamb. And you're like, no, you're a lion. But we feel like it's behaving like it's a lamb, and it thinks it's just to do, but no, in fact, you are a lion, you're supposed to get your own prey, and you're so powerful. But unless someone shows the lion that you are so powerful, you can get your own prey, it may live like a lamb forever. So it is my duty and responsibility to make sure that as many people as possible, they realize the lion that is within, the giant that is within, and then unearth it, so that you can realize the abundance that is here in the world. There's so much abundance, by the way, in the world, because it's said that the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. I've come that they may have life, not only have life, but have it more abundantly. Sometimes when you read this type of scriptures, you're like, abundantly, but maybe it's not talking to me, it's talking to you. But anything else that you don't get out, you may not realize that it's there. You just need to get it out of yourself.
And another thing is, when it comes to sheep, remember, sheep, they always have a shepherd. They cannot be on their own, because of as soon as you leave the sheep alone, when they see other sheep, they will leave the group and go and join the other ones, because of they would, in their nature and their creation, they are created to be shepherd. They are always with somebody who's showing them direction and saying, no, we're going left, from left you're going right. So I don't think I want to be a sheep, or somebody must use that example with me, that no, you're a sheep. No, I'm not a sheep. because sheep always want someone to be there. So that's why we have coaches out there. If you feel like you're a sheep, you need somebody to show you direction, or somebody to help you achieve your goals. And most of the people, we will set goals, at the end of the day we don't even start. But you have structured, you have planned, you have done everything, but the problem is moving. Are you moving or not? That's when the shepherd comes, which is a coach. A coach will say, no, we need to start like now. So if that's how you feel, you are in the right place. You will find that shepherd that will be part of you, that will help you to live the best life. Like your potential will come out. You will know what you can do to achieve everything that you want to do. So, Coach, when you were writing your book, which chapter which chapter was challenging to you to write?
Yeah, that's a very, very, very important, because most of the time I actually mention it without even people asking, because out of all the chapters, there's just one chapter that actually the editor was saying, no, man, okay, it's okay, with all respect. We've been working around this book, but there's just one chapter that we keep on moving around, coming back, moving around. And that is chapter 1, Coach. It is chapter 1. It's about purpose. I'm telling you, and I said, you know what? There's something about chapter 1. I said, chapter 1 for me is way too hard, because once you can discover that, because all the rest of the chapters go down. Like I always say, purpose is more spiritual. Your vision is actually something that you are seeing. It's more mental. You can see it in your mind. But purpose is way too spiritual. That is something that I'm even talking about, the little voice that is talking to you. So there's so much that goes in there. And I was like, you know what, God? Am I actually, will this really actually get to that? And I'll read it from somewhere far away. We'll end the other thing. It was chapter 1 because of the nature of the chapter, the spirituality that went with it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
The beginning. So the challenge was in the beginning of the book.
Yes.
And as I was reading, and guys, I'm currently reading Coach Tingani's book, but we're not going to discuss the book yet. That's why I'm asking him which chapter was challenging to him, because I'm busy reading his book. So if you want to buy his book, he will leave the details later in the show, and then you can contact him and order your own copy. But I'm busy with the book. So next time when he comes, we're going to discuss some of the chapters and some of the findings I found on his book and the work that he does. So, Coach, it's very interesting that the first chapter was the one that it was challenging to you. And how did you draw motivation to continue and continue and go to chapter 2, chapter 3?
Yeah, I think I did that because I was able to draw motivation to say, once I can get the beginning right, the beginning of everything else flows. Because once the first chapter was in, once there's a purpose, automatically now the gift comes in, automatically now the vision comes in. Because what is vision actually? It's just purpose in pictures. So everything started to flow down, and you go to goals. Goals are there to just make sure that we implement the same vision that you have, and check out on the mindset. If you have a vision and you have a purpose, without a proper mindset, you're not going to fulfill your vision or purpose. So everything flew from the purpose downwards. So after the first chapter, everything started to flow freely. I think that is how it helped me to be able to finish and be proud of the work that I did.
Well done, Coach. The book is very interesting, by the way. And the other thing is, when we busy discovering our purposes, using our gifts and all that, and somehow our characters, is the character that I have aligned to the purpose and the gifts that I have? or we leave the character out of everything and we work on what God has given us, and also we work on the gifts that we have and the purpose that we have. All we want to see the purpose fulfilled. We want to live purposefully, and the character, the personality and the character is not a problem. Will you say it's not a problem?
Okay, I think what I can say about character is actually running through. When I talk about purpose, there is character. When I talk about gifts, there is character running through. When I talk about vision, there is character running through. So character runs through all these areas that we're discussing. Because if you have a purpose for something that you want to achieve, something, the assignment that you're supposed to achieve, to fulfill in this world, and you are a person we call it a dubious character, a person that, because if you don't have a good character, because character is either a good one or a bad one. Mm-hmm. If you are a person that cannot actually be trusted with what you are doing, I mean, how do you even fulfill the same purpose that you have? Because you are A, but when you are with other people, you are C. So you can be changing colors at any time and hope that you can fulfill the type of purpose that you have. If you have a gift is going to require that you have a very good character. You have to be a person you have to be an honest person. You have to have certain values, and you have to have certain standards, coach, that below this standard, I don't perform below this certain type of standard. And it's actually, character helps boost the same gift that we have, so that it becomes even more authentic, and we can move quick in terms of our life. So I can say character is integrated within the same purpose, and it's integrated within the same as part of the gifts that you have, and the vision as well. So it's very, 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 very important part of the entire process of living your purpose.
Okay, you just confirmed with me earlier on that you are living your purpose. Like if you sit down now, you feel that you are living a purposeful life, right? So yes. Can you share with us the challenges in your life that you went through until you came to this decision of saying, I am now living my purpose? Like, what was difficult on the way to, how can I ask the question? Okay, I want to know about the challenges. How did you make sure that even though life was challenging and there were so many things that you were going through, it might be in your career, in a family, the background, how you grew up, and now you are a very successful coach who is able to coach a lot of people, and now they are doing very well themselves, and you also written a book, and you feel in your heart that, you know what, God, I'm where you want me to be, and by now I can say that I'm living a purposeful life. What were the challenges along the way for you to achieve that statement?
All right. I think that you mentioned something very, very important. It's growing up. Actually, the type of beliefs that one acquired when I was growing up, because I had certain type of beliefs about what life is all about. And all I knew is from my village is to go to Gauteng, get a job. If you get a good office, you're even lucky. Get a job, get a house, be able to get a car, and have a family. That is what I was brought out to believe, that is how life must be lived. So actually, the societal expectation is something that most of the time it shapes most of the people as we grow up as children. So throughout life, the biggest challenge was, how do I live the expectations that I grew up with? Because now you indeed go to Gauteng, you indeed get the job that, as they said, you must get a job. But now you realize, I feel like there's something in me that is bigger than what I'm doing. But you realize, the external environment is telling me that, to be able to live a safe life, you need to be able to get a job. So that was, I think, the biggest challenge, because most of the time I felt like, I need to do something. But externally, felt like, if I do this, what if? Because for some reason, as human beings, we have this what if that is negative. You don't say, what if I do this and become a multi-millionaire? We think of, what if I do this and then something goes terribly wrong? Mm-hmm. So the challenge was to be able to get to who I am supposed to be, regardless of the type of environment that I live in, the type of expectations of what is it that you are expected to be able to do as a person growing up, and actually getting out of the environment of security. Because you remember I mentioned something about the lion and the lamb, that example. You see, there's something about a lion that is in a cage, that is caged, or the lion that is kept somewhere in the zoo, and a lion that is in the bush or in the field. They are not the same. They are the same type of lions, but they do not behave in the same way. The other one's mindset is in a certain way, then the other one in the bush, it's in a different type of way. It's the one in the bush is actually more entrepreneurial because they must fend themselves. So that is where the difference came in. It was a feeling of being a bit caged. When I felt like, somebody's give me money, I have to be getting a pay slip every month. But I also always felt this thing that there must be something more to life than what is happening. There must be something more than this. So the biggest challenge was being able to follow my dream, regardless of the type of beliefs that I grew up under. I think that was the biggest challenge that I lived with.
Wow. Yo, Coach. Yeah, that's empowering. And Coach, when it comes to a new coach in the business who wants to have a well-established business like Coach Dingani, how can you advise them?
Okay, what I can advise them is, firstly, once they've realized that they've gone through the first step, that this is their purpose, and they realize my gift is actually in the coaching business. What they need to do now is to invest. It's like in the book that was saying, you're saying, thank you very much for saying it's interesting. I mentioned briefly in there in terms of what is it that you must do. You need to be able to invest in yourself, invest so much in yourself and in learning. You cannot do enough more than learning. You have to learn as much as possible in the field. If it's social media, it must be social media related to the coaching business. Look at the other coaches that are there. What is it that they're doing? Because now you're trying to form a certain self-image of what you want to become. So it's so much about investing in yourself. That for me, I can encourage people to do, to say, do that, spend as much time as possible, read and learn as much as possible from the field that you want to be in. That is the coaching business. And also make sure that you start to associate with people, like-minded people in the same field. There must be certain coaches that you know. If you can't actually be with them, just follow them and see what is it that these people are doing. If it's videos, just watch their videos. At least you are learning, you are igniting that spark that is within you. So that's what I can encourage the new person, the new coach who's getting to the field to do.
And the challenges that you're facing when it comes to coaching, what kind of challenges coaches are facing when they are establishing their business?
Yeah, I think this is one. This is something that I can say it's a one big one. It's credibility. That is, you can't run away from that. You have to live with the fact that when you start, people are going to say, no, this one wants to be like Coach K. No, Coach Dingani can do better than this. So you must know, all people started without real credibility. People are going to be doubted, then you're going to hope for a session to have 20 people and only 2 people pitch up. So those are the serious challenges that we're going to face, because the question is, if you're hoping for 20 and 2 pitch up, are you going to do the best for the 2 people as much as you would have done for the 20 people? So the type of challenges is going to be the type of, if I put it, support that you're expecting to have, because it might look like when we talk, Coach K talks, they might give you the impression that, no, you just do this and people start coming. No, people are going to actually, everyone that has been very successful, they were doubted at first. People are like, I don't think this is the real deal. But you need to keep on moving up until the numbers starts to increase and people start to have the belief in you. And then that's it. That's how you build a business.
And it's true, because I've realized again is when it comes to coaching, like most of the people, they look into popularity. Are you popular? How successful you are? And in fact, they don't even believe that you will be able to do what you say you will do. They will just look at you that, I know, I've never heard of this coach. What does he do? What does he have? Because most of the people, they look into what you have. And we're talking about material stuff. They want to, in everything that you do, success to them is what is it that you have achieved? And they're not speaking in terms of knowledge. No, they're speaking in terms of material stuff. What car is the person driving? Where do they stay? What do they do? What kind of other businesses do they have, and all that? So it's so difficult for coaches to make sure that other people, and sometimes I will take coaching as being a pastor. You know, pastors, their lives are so difficult because now you are empowering people, you are educating them, equipping them from church, you praying for them, they become more successful than you. At the end of the day, they come and look at you that, you attending to that church, yes, what does the pastor do? We forget that all those blessings, we got them from the same parts that, that we want to know, what does he have, you know? So it's similar to coaching because people want to see the material. Okay, what do you do? What do you have? What kind of a car are you driving? Forgetting, and it's so painful because when you start coaching people, we have clients. Now some of my clients, they have acquired a lot of things, and I'll ask myself, why can't I do this? But God, you're not fair. You will coach someone to achieve certain things, but at the end of the day, when it comes to me, I don't. And I remembered that where many is given, many is required. So we learn from what God has given us and has blessed us with. So make sure that whatever gift you have, use it, because of you might not be able to show success, especially material success, through that gift. Just make sure that your purpose is fulfilled, because of some of the people, Baba Nangli purpose in life, they don't have those materials to show, this is what I have, and this will match the purpose that I have in life, or the gift that I have in life. Some are there to help others achieve. Some are there to make sure that the vision of Zoe Life Radio is fulfilled. You know, it's what God has sent you to do. So it's always like that. Like coach, when you're explaining the business itself, it's so difficult to achieve certain things, but we keep on going, we keep on moving, and making sure that people are well, especially when it comes to wellness. And wellness is broad because we also have mental wellness, financial wellness, and when you are well mentally, you'll be able to make good business decisions, and it will help you. And we are knowledgeable every day. We make sure that we learn and empower ourselves. And coach, you sound like a self-motivated person. Where do you draw your inspiration?
I do a lot of reading. I read a lot of books. Actually, when you check in the book, you realize that there's a lot of people that I quote, because I think that's what they say, readers are leaders. You need to be able to read. Because once you read, certain things you get more confirmation on certain things. If things are tough, and you are reading in a book, let's say it's Coach K's book, and she's telling you that, you know what, I have to go through this type of challenges, but everything works at the end. You start to feel like, this shows I'm not alone. These things can happen to even good people. So I read a lot. I listen to videos of people that are already successful in the field, and most of them, they'll even tell you, you know what, I used to go through X, Y, and Z. I'm like, oh, my things are not even as worse as what this person is mentioning. So those are the type of things that keep you moving. Motivational videos as well. And also, I think that the book of life, you need the book of life, because you need to have so much reference to be able to say that, you know what, indeed, I'll never leave nor forsake you. When you see those things, you have the sense of feeling that someone is actually with you all the time. Whether things are going right or they are not going okay, that sense of feeling that someone is with me all the time, it makes me feel better that, you know what, even if I fell down, but at least this person still has got my support. He's got my support, and he still loves me so much before anybody else. I think that is the most important thing that you can have. You need to have self-motivation at certain points that you need to make sure that you encourage yourself to keep on moving. And the other big thing that I do is what I actually teach in my lessons with the clients. The biggest thing that can happen to people, coach, this is something that is amazing. If you just deal with your focus is everything. They say focus equals, it's actually energy. Focus equals the feelings. If you focus your mind on certain things, you'll be surprised or amazed at the way you are feeling most of the time. If you are mostly focused on the future, the good future that is coming in front of you, and if you are focused on the blessings that you have, I can tell you most of the time you feel okay. You won't feel very, very bad. But if you start to feel about, hey, you know what, things are not happening, I don't have this, I don't have that, you're going to feel sad. So just deal with the focus part to say, you know what is that I'm thinking? Am I thinking about things that are going to work in my favor? Am I thinking about things that have not worked for me? Every time you do that, it's going to affect you. Am I thinking of the negative parts that have happened and they're actually influencing my future that you know what? You remember you failed dismally 2 years back. Now it's affecting the way you want to do the second project. No, always take that as a lesson to say, no, it was a lesson that I learned, but the future is always brighter. The best is yet to come. So always encourage yourself to do that. I can tell you, once you do that, you'll realize that, no, life is not the way I used to see it, because life is about our perception anyway. Because if it was the same way, nobody would say they are extremely abundant or they live an abundant life or they are wealthy. It would be the same. But it depends on how you look at it. So look at it in a positive light.
Yeah, so true. So true. Oh, yeah, coach, we have learned a lot. And the biggest part was knowing that your job is what they pay you to do and your work is what you were born to do, which is your purpose, like knowing the difference between the two, that no, I'm here to work, even though sometimes I don't see any profit, I don't see any progress. However, I still need to keep on working, keep on making sure that I do the work at the end of the day. And besides reading and other things, what else do you do to keep on keeping on?
Oh, okay. I think for me, it's keeping on. It's a daily thing, if I can tell you. I think my focus. I think you mentioned something about helping people, but sometimes not even getting the level of reward that you think you could be getting. But what I'm thinking is, it's about the level of service that you offer. I think once you know exactly what you're supposed to do, the biggest challenge that comes now is how do you actually market the same product that you have? Because marketing is everything. The more people you serve, the more reward you'll get. I think that's what it is. You start to owe it to yourself to make sure that you service as many people as possible. The more you serve them, the more you'll be able to get more rewards that you actually need. And I think doing that means more time, even spending more time on making sure that you market the product that you have so that it can reach as many people as possible. If it's a book, make sure what are the platforms so you can take the book so that as many people can be able to get the book. Because the book is not for you. It is for people to be able to read. If 2 people read it versus 20, it's better that you actually let more than 20 people read it. If it changes 5 out of the 20, it's a good ratio. It's not too bad at all. I think for me, that is why the biggest focus is to say, how do I take this and be able to spread it to as many people as possible?
Wow. Yeah, I always say that let the one that sees your heart reward you, because of you can hear from coach or certain purposes and gifts are not profitable. However, the one who started a work in you will see it to finish. God will finish the work that is started in your life. And sometimes it's so hard because if there's no profit and you feel like you're not doing anything, like I said earlier on, that when you live in your purpose, people are looking into the material that you bring. If you're saying, okay, we hear you have purpose, you have gifts, but what do you bring into the table? Tell me what you have achieved since you have started living your purpose. And it's so difficult. Like I said, all the time when it comes to coaching, I will always take it to pastoring, that our pastors are suffering because of now we are in the same field. At the end of the day, we need to to make sure that we save souls. Sometimes it's not all about the money. All we look into the wellness of the person. Do you think I can just leave someone who is going through anxiety and depression and say to that person that no, you will have to pay me first before I help you? No, we don't. The well-being of the person comes first, and then money will come at the end. So that's why I've lived with, let the one who sees your heart reward you. And it's in the Bible. God will reward whatever that you do. And he sees the intention of your heart. We're not doing it for show off. We're not doing it because we are coaches, but we're doing it because we know the one, we know the source. We know the source, that he is our provision, even though it's so difficult. But at the end of the day, I cannot leave a soul to die and then say that the person didn't pay the money. So it's so difficult. We look into those kind of things whenever we're busy with our work and all that. So Coach, I'm so motivated and empowered. And since we spoke about proposals like our coach, we living our purposes, and our purposes sometimes are not profitable. And what do we do? Let me tell you, as long as you haven't done anything that God said you must do, I'm telling you, you won't sleep. That sleep, you won't see it, because of you will feel that little voice in your head that says, have you done it? And then now my goal is, the day I go to heaven, I want God to say, well done, my child. The well done that I'm seeking for now is the one from my source, my provision, and my creator. And remember, no one knows the product like the manufacturer. The one, that part you need to know and understand. No one knows the product like the manufacturer. The one who created us knows what kind of a product we are and what kind of a product we will become. That's why Coach last week said, be sure and know that each and every person in this earth have a purpose. Now is the time for you to seek exactly what your purpose is, and then make sure that you are able to live that purpose, and look into your gifts and make sure that you understand how to use your gifts. And remember, tonight we also spoke about character. How does character come into our purposes and gifts? Coach, what you have taught us is so powerful, and myself, I'm so grateful that you came through and honored. And I'm not sure about the viewers. They will speak for themselves. They have a platform to comment if they've learned from the purpose session. And I was last week, someone, I think it's from the viewers, I got an inbox and they asked a question and say, what if they don't have a purpose? So I promised them that I will ask you this question. So they said, what if I don't have a purpose? How do you answer that question?
Yeah, you see, that's very interesting to what the viewer is asking. You see, for me, it's just like a knife, a kitchen knife. That is the one that you use to cut bread, and it says, hey, what if there's no reason why I was created? There's no. Okay, let me start here. I always want to start with the products. You see, before anything can be created, there must be a reason why you want to create it. There must be a need for something to be created. I think to that viewer, let's start there. Before, you see, if you go into the entrepreneurial space, where there's a problem, the entrepreneurs, they will identify that, there's a problem. There's a certain need that we need to be able to satisfy here. And then once they realize that there's a need, then they create a product to meet the need. That is how it is. They don't just create some products and say, oh, we have a product. Okay, so where must it go? No, there must be a need first. So you, the viewer, the one who commented on this, the first thing that happened with you, I mentioned the product earlier. The first that happened to you is that you remember you were told that I knew you before you were born. So you were known before you even came on earth. So the fact that you are here is proof enough that there's something that you need to do to be able to fulfill the reason why you are here. It's only that what you can say, what I agree with and say, yes, this is something that needs to be done, is the type of work that you need to do. Unfortunately, you need to do some work in terms of finding out why am I here, because the reason that you are here is proof enough that there's a reason why you must be here. Like I talk about products so many times. Your assignment is actually to find out the little voice. The coach just mentioned something about the little voice that is within all of us. That little voice, we all have it. Listen to that voice. Sometimes we don't have time to listen to ourselves. There's just too much noise around, and we have little time to be able to listen to ourselves. But I can guarantee you that I can tell you, we all have purposes. We just need to be able to identify. Sit back and do in the book that we're talking about. There's a whole process of how to go about doing or identifying the purpose that you have for your life. There is that purpose. I actually just hope, coach, this person could actually come to my session. Maybe even the Thursday session that I'll be having the one that I'll be having this Thursday. Just to be interested, because once you are there, I can actually say things more detailed to show you that there's no mistake. There was no mistake that you just came here and then now we must decide what must you do. No, you came here for a certain mission. We can help you, like the coach was saying. We are here to help you to discover, to see that mission and to live through that mission. So that is our assignment actually, to be able to help you do that and to have a statement that you can live with, to say, this is the reason why I was born. Yeah. So I think that is what I can say to the viewer, that you have a purpose. You just need to identify it. If you cannot, there are people that can help you. I'm a coach. She's a coach. We can help. Thanks, coach.
Absolutely, coach. Thank you. I believe they're listening to your response. And we are at the end of our show. Coach, remember last week you didn't manage to leave your details because I said we have another session. So can you kindly leave your details? Where can our viewers and listeners find you?
Okay, I think there's a few areas that they can contact me, and the most critical one is like I just mentioned now that I do have free coaching sessions on Thursdays, twice in a month, and this Thursday I'll be having one such session. So I'm going to give them my WhatsApp number. That is the quickest that they can be able to get hold of me and be able to get the details in terms of how to join the session. I really truly encourage them to do that. And okay, that would be my number is there. I don't know if I can mention the number now, or you can. Okay, let me just mention it. It's 082 780 5712. So that is the cell number for the WhatsApp to be able to join my sessions on Thursday, which will be one of which will be taking place this Thursday. And then the other ones is the email address where they can contact me is Dingaan, DINGAAN at Dingaan again, Rahlapane, RAHLAPANE.co.za. That is the email where they can contact me, or they can still friend request me on Facebook as dingaan.rahlapane.5 or Instagram dingaan_rahlapane. So those are the areas where they can contact me, and also on YouTube, where I have videos, just Dingaan Rahlapane channel that they can get hold of me. So those are the contact areas where they can be able to get in touch with me, and we can help each other from there onwards.
Okay, Coach, thank you so much, guys. I believe you had a wonderful Easter weekend, and we did learn a lot tonight. And Coach, do you have any quote that you can leave the listeners with?
Okay, yes, I have this one. I think the quote that I'm going to say is, I'm going to ask them to repeat what I'm going to say. Just say it 5 or just say it 10 times, and maybe they can let you know what the feeling is. Just tell yourself that all I need is within me now. Repeat it 10 times, and then maybe write something to the coach of how do you feel. You start to feel something to say, no, what? Indeed, all I need is within me now. But if you just say it like I'm saying, all I need is within me now, it doesn't sound as strong. But if you repeat it, all I need is
Yes, we lost Coach there. He was still saying that all we need is within us. So, from me, Kensani, thank you so much. Like I said, you guys, I believe you had a wonderful Easter weekend and you are safe with your families. And let this week be a blessed and a wonderful week to you. And I'll see you guys again next week, Tuesday night. God bless you. I love you. See you next week.